Are people actually buying or selling physical metal?
We have had a record 2 weeks, Chris. We've done nearly almost 5 months worth of business in the last 2.5 weeks. And I can think of two people who sold.
Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. Tonight, a special Friday night version of the show. A lot of people have been asking back for Andy Schectman, who was on the show last week from Miles Franklin, the precious metals dealer, to give us some insight on what's happening on the physical side. So with that said, Andy, it's great to have you on here. I know you've had a long week, but thanks for joining me. And how's everything going tonight?
It's going all right, man. I got my second wind. I appreciate being on. There's lots to talk about. And you're one of my favorite guys in the industry, Chris. I'll always make time for you, buddy.
Well, I sure appreciate that. And perhaps we'll get right to it. What has been happening on the physical side of the industry? We've seen the paper price get thumped pretty good again this week, despite quantitative easing. But are people actually buying or selling physical metal?
We have had a record 2 weeks, Chris. We've done nearly almost 5 months worth of business in the last 2.5 weeks. And I can think of two people who sold out of thousands of orders, and no one's selling. The United States Mint, as of today, is out of, at least in terms of production. I don't know that they're out of metal anyway. They're just behind production because of demand. Gold buffaloes, gold eagles, silver eagles. The Canadian Mint today shut down for 2 weeks minimum before they do anything, any new business, not taking any new orders. And the Perth Mint in Australia sold out of gold bars. The largest distributors of gold in the world, their shelves are empty, barren. I've never seen anything quite like it. I've never stayed at my office really past 8 o'clock at night ever in 30 years. I've been there past midnight, last night till 4 a.m. Dead serious. Those people who've received invoices and emails from me last night will attest to it. I've never experienced anything quite like it, Chris. And what we're seeing right now is a massive surge in buying, similar to the toilet paper and bottled water aisle at Costco. Massive surge. Let me put it to you this way. Our company normally would do 30, 35 orders a day and have a very successful business. We're doing upwards ends of 400 to 500 to 600 a day over the last 7 days. I've never experienced anything like it. And then when you take a step back and look at the enormous demand in the physical precious metals market world over, not just here in the United States, I'm looking at Switzerland, I'm looking at my friends around the world who have precious metals companies, and they're saying the same thing. All their supplies gone, they can't keep it in stock, huge delivery delays, massive increases in premium. This is just the very beginning, and it's rapidly, rapidly happening. And everything that your people are hearing, it's true. Premiums are as high as I've ever seen them in 30 years in my career. And that's the market's way of calling BS on the price of the metal. And so that's where we are right now, Chris. It's all true what you've been hearing, though, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. And something I think people have been wondering, is it that the U.S. Mint, just the order demand, or is there actually some sort of shortage with them being able to get metal?
Well, I think it's a demand thing. The last several years, this industry has been tepid at best, lukewarm. 2017, when Bitcoin went to the moon and the Dow Jones was taking off too, that industry, or that year, our industry was mass capitulation is the only way I would have defined it. 2018 and 19 have been better, but as I've been saying on a lot of my interviews lately, it was all the choir that's been buying. Even recently, until the last week, it's been the choir. Now we're out 8, 9, 10 rows deep into the auditorium, and it's not just the choir buying anymore. I'm getting calls from financial advisors saying, I got 9 clients who want to buy gold. I want you to talk to them. I have people calling me saying, I've never done this before. What do I do? That's what's happening right now. People are waking up to what we've been saying for a very long time. And I don't blame people for not listening to what we've been saying for a very long time, Chris, because ultimately we've been wrong. We've been wrong in timing. Um, and quite frankly, when I look back at most of the things that I've talked about for 30 years, I've been wrong in timing. But they always come true. And just about everything we've ever talked about came true because we base them upon economics, mathematics with a little sprinkling of logic. And my biggest concern, Chris, is that the infrastructure breaks down. You're seeing it happen already. You're seeing lockdowns in all of these states. So what does that mean for the US Mint that's in West Point, New York? What does that mean for UPS? How does UPS drive through a quarantine zone? I never would have thought that my business would be affected this way, but it's no different than any supply chain business. In fact, it is 100% reliant on supply chain. The mints send the metal to the distributors who send it to me, who we send it to our clients. It's all through some sort of transportation and carrier and logistics and supply chain. And if that's all breaking down, you're running out of time, man. I hope that things don't lock up. But quite frankly, Chris, right now, from a business standpoint, in terms of precious metals and the industry itself, that's my biggest concern. Because try to go to your local coin shop. They're either completely shut or only buying and won't sell you a thing. And that goes, go online to any of the major online dealers. They're sold out of everything or their prices are ridiculous. You'll see for yourself, and so your listeners, that this is happening at breakneck speed.
Well, Andy, I appreciate that. Appreciate you making some time tonight. Just real quick before we let you run and get some sleep, how can folks reach you if they are interested in buying or selling any of the precious metals?
Over the last couple of weeks, I've done a couple of podcasts with Big Swear, whom I know you spoke with today, someone I hold in the highest of esteem. And I told all of his listeners that I would meet or beat every price in America from any company, any major retailer. I would do that. And I have done that. I've done that handsomely, and I can continue to do that for as long as I possibly can. I'd like to make that offer to your listeners as well, Chris. And all they need to do is send me personally, don't call my office, send Andy at Miles Franklin an email with Arcadia Economics in the subject line. I will beat any price that you can find across the country, major retailer. It's just my way of saying thank you for having me on, Chris. And you and I go back a long way. So it's the least I can do. I'll continue to work tirelessly. I worked till 4:30 in the morning last night, and I will continue to do that for as long as I can, for as long as there's supply, for as long as we're delivering. One last thing I'd like to mention. Any of your listeners who purchase from us and the infrastructure breaks down in between, I've arranged from my distributors to have everything stored in one of our vaults, probably the Dakota Depository in Fargo, North Dakota, fully insured, segregated for free, indefinitely until such time as the infrastructure opens back up or clients can make it up to Fargo and pick up their metal in person 5 days a week. So the vaults are locked on the weekends. They'd have to come 5 days a week. But my point is segregated, insured for free until things open back up. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But once again, just send Andy at milesfranklin.com an email. Let me know what you're looking for. Let me know if you want to talk briefly. Mention Arcadia Economics in the subject line. And my guarantee is that no one in this industry, major retailer online, will touch my price. Guaranteed.
Well, Andy, I appreciate that. Again, thanks for making some time after a long week, but we had a lot of requests to have you back on the show, and hopefully we'll be able to check up with you sometime next week for a couple minutes, see how it's looking then. Who knows what'll happen by then, but certainly fascinating times, and thanks again for being here.
Chris, I'd love to be on every single week with you. And more importantly than anything, you take care of yourself. We need you, and stay healthy. It's crazy that that's how we have to sign off nowadays, but I mean it. Stay healthy, take care of yourself, and I do hope to see your smiling face again sometime next week. But I'm always here if you need me.
Will do, sir. Appreciate that.
All right, brother. Be well.